I'm going to take a basic curry chicken recipe and I'm going to turn that into a curry rabbit recipe. I'm going to take a Hey, thanks for coming to check us out here today at New York Turnix. My name is Kenny, as most of you already know, and for those of you who don't, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be making curried rabbit. Now this is something I've never had, never even thought of. I'm pretty sure it's been done before, as most things have, but we're doing curried rabbit today here on the channel. I'm going to take a basic curry chicken recipe and turn that into a curry rabbit recipe. So make sure that you leave a like for the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. As video progresses, make sure that you leave any questions that you have down in the comment section below. I'll make sure that I get to those as quickly as possible and not drop this thing on my foot. I'm not wearing any shoes. Let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start prepping everything out. Got everything laid out here. About a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of ginger. And usually I would grate this, but I do not have a grater. So I'm just going to chop it up as fine as possible for this recipe. So you could use a cheese grater or one of those little handheld graters that are, you know, specially made for smaller things like this. Either way, they'll come out with pretty much the same result. Again, I don't have one, so I'm just pretty much mincing. And if you're going to do this, make sure you be careful, because you don't want to end yourself before you even get started here. Again, this is supposed to be about 1 to 2 tablespoons, maybe a tablespoon and a half of the ginger. Keep your fingers out of the way. Make sure you keep your fingers like this if you're going to be cutting, you know, especially if you're cutting in rapid succession like that. We don't have to worry about cutting your fingers off. Now you have a guide, which is going to be your knuckle. Now we're going to put that to the side. I'm going to take care of the garlic. I'm going to crush the garlic to get the peel off. Makes it really easy. Easier if you do it hard. Alright, and once we have the peel off the garlic, get all of those out of the way. Again, crush the garlic. Makes it really easy for the peel to come off. Put that to the side. Crush the garlic. Take off the peel. Alright, so there we have our garlic. I'm going to chop that up too, pretty much the same as I did with the ginger, maybe a little bit coarser. I missed a piece of that peel right there. All right. Then we have our garlic. And we'll put that to the side. Alright, then we'll go ahead and take care of the carrots. Trying to waste as little as possible. I have 3 smallish carrots here. I mean, you can say they're medium. Depends on who you ask. Either way. Alright, so what I'm going to do is cut these in half. Then I'm going to cut them the long way. Going to happen with each one of these. Cut them in half, cut them the long way. Whoa. Then I'm going to chop them on up. It's a pretty coarse chop. I'm not, on any specific size. Just want to keep in mind that we're going to be putting these in a pot, cooking them with the rabbit. Oh, found another peel right there. And also, keep in mind, safety first. Keep those knuckles curved in and you won't cut yourself, or you'll be a lot less likely to. I'm going to put these carrots to the side over here. I'm going to chop this green onion. A lot of people don't use green onion in here, but it was a special request and I love green onion, so why not? I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to toss out what we don't need. Got the seeds out of there. I'm going to chop this up into 4 pieces and remove the spine. So that's a lot sour and I don't like it in my food. Actually, this one I'm going to make a little bit smaller. So I can cut that out of there. And again, the reason that I get rid of the spine in there is because it's not, I mean, it is edible, of course, but it's not as sweet as the rest of the pepper. And that's the only part of this this pepper that I want to, bring out is the sweet. So I'm going to chop this right on up. This is going to be a coarse chop too. Move those pieces over to the side. And another thing, keep your knives sharp, but if you're cutting vegetables like this, don't cut them from this side because you're going to have a lot harder of a go at it. I mean, this knife is pretty sharp, so that was easy, but you'll be a lot safer and a lot less likely for the knife to rub off and cut you if you're cutting from this side. So, just a quick pointer. I don't know where that piece went. I just dropped it. Might have went in my pocket. I don't know. It's gone. Anyway, yes. Safety first. Depending. Alright, so I've got that chopped up over there. Get these last couple of pieces. Alright, so we're almost done with the prep, folks. Again, if you have any questions or comments, make sure you leave those in the comment section below. Also, leave a like for the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. That would be greatly appreciated. channel has grown pretty fast in the first 2 years, and that's all thanks to you guys. I'm gonna be doing a lot more cooking videos pretty soon. You'll see some more stuff on here. I've got an entire duck in here that I'm gonna bust out pretty soon. So, you know, make sure you stay tuned for that. Hit that notification bell, and you'll be notified in real time whenever new videos are released on the channel, so that way you'll know as soon as something happens. I'm also going to get this onion cut up, get somewhere to put this green pepper. And I'm doing the onion last because, you know, obvious reasons. I'm going to make sure that my knife is nice and clean and sharp and dry. I'm gonna chop up this onion as quickly as possible. Top layer of that onion was pretty rough. Alright, so this onion is going to get coarsely chopped, and this large onion has easily turned into a medium onion because that first layer was not that good. But that is okay. Alright, now you have your coarsely chopped onion, and might want to chop that down a little bit more. Some of these bigger pieces can have a go. Again, keep your fingers curled in so you don't chop those. Alright, put our onion to the side. Alright, and now it's time for the star of the show, freshly brined rabbit. Now that we've got this out, I'm going to go ahead and get it chopped up just a little bit. As you can see, the meat's been a little bit softened. I got this at the halal butcher, the halal slaughterhouse, however you want to call it, the other day. And I let it sit and soak, and meat, like I said, has softened up quite a bit. So I want to make sure that I check for any leftover fur on this rabbit. And I'm going to go ahead and get this broken down a little bit. I'm going to use this meat cleaver that I got from Restaurant Depot that has actually rusted a little bit. And this is only my first time using it, so not really happy about that. But I'm going to separate right here at the joint. Ooh. It's tricky. And I'm going to leave this piece be right here and separate this one at the joint too. No need to break, just find a joint right there. Or I can just go around, you know, no need to ruin the cleaver. Not the best cleaver. Even though I spent a whole bunch of money on it, I don't get it. Anyway, I think I'm going to take this one back. Tell me what you think I should do in the comments below. Alright, so I have first two pieces separated. This should be a little bit easier with these pieces back here, because I'm going to go ahead and break and cut right into there. Break again. Pop that right off. I'm going to get this piece right here at the knee joint. And make the break. Finish it off right there. And same thing with this one. You want to cut into there, make the break, cut around the joint. Sometimes you don't even need to make the break. This one, you know what? This is a nice heavy cleaver. Let's just lob it off. Why not? I'm gonna do the same right here. Let's just lob it off. Why not? You know, meat cleaver. That's what they're for. To cleave meat. So let's cleave it. Alright, so now that our meat has been cleaving, let's cleave it some more. That's a nice chop. Alright, I'm going to put our pieces in there. Alright, we're putting our pieces to the side now. We have decent sized pieces here. I'm not going to break these pieces up, only because this is the rib meat right here, and it's going to get a little bit brittle if I just go hacking into there. That piece I'm going to leave. This piece gets cleaved. It's the leg meat. Alright, in with you. And we clean this off. Okay, and we're cleaning as we go, folks. I'm trying to keep this wooden board as clean as possible. I need to talk to these folks about this board. It already has a crack in it, and I've only had it for about a month and a half. But we'll get on that later. Food Network. Alright, so now that everything is prepped out here, we are going to take our rabbit and marinate that for, I don't know, a little while. Anyway, let's get that started. Alright, so I've got my rabbit in a bowl here. I'm going to go ahead and dump that onion and pepper mixture in there. We're also going to put the seasoning in there. Now this is a mixture of salt. Pepper, and basically poultry seasoning. Is going to do for our recipe. Basically all-purpose seasoning. Let me see, what else do we need here? We are going to need pretty much everything else. So let's see, we have the so far we have the onion, the peppers, the ginger. Let's throw the ginger in there. We've got our curry powder. And the curry powder, that was about 2 to 3 tablespoons. That's about 2.5 tablespoons of curry powder that I just put in there. And, oh, we're also going to need, folks, I forgot to mention, we're going to need scotch bonnet pepper. Now, I didn't find scotch bonnet peppers anywhere in my area. I know they're around here somewhere, but we have the sauce here, which is the scotch bonnet pepper sauce, which is just as good. This is what I always use because, again, scotch bonnet peppers are not the easiest to find. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to add a bunch of this dangerousness to the recipe. Now there's seeds in here, so this stuff is extra hot. But I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of that. That's about a pepper. Oh, this stuff is hot. I can feel it in my eyeballs. Okay, and we also need some allspice. I'm going to use a couple of berries of this for the recipe, and there's a lot of Goya products here, aren't there? Oh no, I think about 5 or 6 will do. So I'm going to drop those in there whole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what? We got 8 all together. Why not? And I'm just using this spoon that I was using for the scotch bonnet peppers. Just for the sake of getting all that pepper sauce off of that spoon. Oh, and I forgot. Add the garlic too. I'm going to need the garlic in there. I knew I was forgetting something. Also, to clean up behind myself because I'm making a mess. Alright, I'm going to use my hands. Look at everything mixed up in here. Then I'm going to make sure I wash my hands so they're not yellow. Also, keep in mind, as I'm realizing as I'm doing this, that if you took a meat cleaver to the meat, you probably have some sharp pieces of bone, so be careful as you dig in here. But just make sure that all of the meat is covered. You might have to add a little bit of seasoning. You might not. Coverage is pretty good. Oh yeah, if you could just smell this, this is wonderful. This is definitely something, if you have fingernails, you're going to want to cut those bad boys before you get started with this. Unless you want to be scrubbing for days. Alright, so we've got the rabbit marinating here. All of the ingredients are combined together. I got my hands clean. I'm going to let this rabbit marinate for about a half an hour to an hour. After that's done, we're going to combine it with the rest of the ingredients and finish up on the recipe. So, stay tuned. Alright, and we are back. We've had the rabbit marinating for about a half an hour actually. I need to get some sleep, so I'm not going to let it marinate too long. We also need to let it cook for about, just short of an hour. So I forgot to mention, the potato is also in this recipe. You want to get 1 or 2 potatoes. That helps to thicken up the sauce. It actually becomes part of the sauce. So I'm going to go ahead and chop one of these up. Actually, I'm going to chop up 2 of them. And the rabbit's still over there marinating right now. And I'm just roughly chopping up these potatoes. No particular, method to the madness. Again, it's just thickening up the sauce basically. Alright, again, keep those fingers curled so you don't chop those off. And folks, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so by hitting that subscribe button below. Also, leave a like for the video and let me know if you have any questions or comments. Alright, so now the oil is in the pot. I've got about 3 or 4 tablespoons of oil in the pot. It's regular vegetable oil. You can use the oil of your liking for this recipe. It's all up to you. I've got an electric stove. Right now the temperature I have set on 6. It doesn't have to be set all the way up. we're not necessarily searing right away, we're browning. So keep in mind, you don't need to have the temperature turned all the way up if you're using fire. Same thing, you don't want to have the flame turned all the way up. We've got everything set up. I'm going to grab this rabbit and get it added to the pot, piece by piece. And we add everything that we seasoned it with in there as well. And basically what we're going to do now is just brown it. And keep in mind, you want to make sure that you don't let it burn. It's one of the most important things. You're browning, not searing. Don't let it burn. So if you need to add some water, add the water. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. I would really appreciate it. Also, leave a like for the video. Leave a comment too. Let me know how awful I'm doing at this. I would also appreciate that. Let me know what recipes you want to see in the future. I know I promised I'd be doing another alligator recipe pretty soon. I also have duck in the refrigerator, duck eggs, and, you know, access to a whole bunch of other crazy stuff. But again, let me know in the comments what you'd like to see next, and we'll see about getting that done. All right, so this should take about, I don't know, 10 minutes to brown. And we're going to come back to that and add the rest of the ingredients. All right, and as soon as that rabbit is ready, and by ready I mean brown, what you want to do is add your potatoes. Also going to add your carrots and your thyme. I'm going to put some more in there if necessary, but I just ripped the thyme off of the sprigs. I used about 3 sprigs of thyme. I'm going to add water, just enough to cover everything. I'm going to turn the heat down and we're going to walk away from this whole thing. I'm using hot water, so, you know, it doesn't slow down the cooking process too much. And this is going to thicken up, keep in mind, so and again, at some point in time you may or may not want to add more curry. That's up to you. Alright, so now we've got everything in the pot. The rabbit is in there. Well, of course, because that would be part of everything. But everything is in the pot. We've got the water just covering right over the top of everything. Like I said, that's going to thicken up, especially seeing as how those potatoes are in there. We use white potatoes. White potatoes are really good as a thickening agent. Keep in mind, this is going to be on here for probably about an hour, actually. And I did say that we were going to turn the heat down and walk away. But I also forgot to mention, depending on the temperature of the water that you use when you put it in here, you're going to want to make sure that you get it to a nice boil before you turn the heat down. So I actually went ahead and cranked the heat up to about 7.5. Once I get this to a nice slow boil, I'm going to keep checking on it. As soon as that happens, I'm going to go ahead, leave it covered, and turn it down just probably somewhere between 2 and simmer. So again, leave a like for the video. If you have any comments, questions, anything like that, there's a comment section below. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done that. This is New York Eternix, your source for everything quail and game bird related. And these days also, every other sort of game as well. So, we have the rabbit just about ready to start boiling in this pot. I don't know why I keep taking the lid off of it. I have a patience problem. I'm not sure what that's all about. We also have plantain for dessert. We're going to fry those up. May's going to take care of that. So again, Jamaican curry rabbit. This is what's going on today in the kitchen. We're going to finish that up with some nice fried plantain And I'm also going to try to get this kitchen as clean as possible in the meantime. So we're also going to make basmati rice with this. It's going in the rice cooker momentarily. May's going to take care of that. Rice cooker is over here in a bag out of the shot. I guess that was a consideration thing, but hey, let me show you the rice cooker we're going to be using. Got this nice small rice cooker right here because neither one of us really likes to make rice, you know, on the stove, especially with an electric stove, because these things are not the most consistent. You know, it is what it is though. So we've got this rice cooker. This is how it's going to happen. We're making basmati rice with this, and we don't have any we got everything we need. So I'm going to put this rice cooker over to the side and put everything else away that we don't need right now. And if you're wondering about the seasonings and everything, if you weren't paying attention in the beginning of the video, or if it was something that I forgot to mention, I'm going to make sure this time that I put everything down in the description below. So the description below is also a place where the comment section is. You can leave something in the comment section, and while you're on your way there, leave a like for the video and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Share this video with a friend. If you haven't had any curried rabbit, neither have I, but I'm about to have it in a little while. Hopefully it's delicious. I'll let you know definitely. And yeah. As a matter of fact, curry is one of my favorite things in the world. If there's anything that you'd like to see curried, let me know. Because so far I've made curried goat, I've made curried chicken. Today we're making curried rabbit. And the curried goat and the curried chicken is not something that I did on the channel, although I should have. But the rabbit's the first thing that I'm doing on the channel. Let me know if there's anything else that you'd like to see me curry, specifically curry. We can get that done on the channel if I can find it locally. And there's a lot of meats that I can find locally. I actually have duck and alligator, again, in the refrigerator, so that can be done. I don't know how that's going to turn out. Alligator tends to be kind of chewy. I have a pound of it left. So, yeah, let's check on this. Might need to turn this up just a little bit. It's already starting to thicken up. So it's not a recipe that you're going to need to add cornstarch to or anything like that. The potato took care of all the starchy needs of this recipe. I would not suggest using a wooden spoon for this recipe either. I just got some new wooden spoons here in the kitchen, and we're not going to use those today. We are going to use a nice rubberized spoon. It smells really good in here. Almost good enough to leave the house in 30-degree weather just to come back in to see what it smells like from the outside. Alright, so I'm expecting this to take about 35 to 45 more minutes. We're going to come back. I'm going to cut the video. Once we come back, we're going to plate it up with the basmati rice, and I'm going to let you know exactly how it tastes in the simplest terms, because you know I don't have my own cooking show or anything like that. I'm not a worder, so I love it. All right, so let's try this again. The rabbit is almost to a boil. I've turned it all the way up because it is very resistant to boil right now. This is an amazing Cuisinart pot. And what happens again, once this comes up to a boil, I'm going to turn it down between 2 and simmer. I'm going to walk away from it. It's going to take about 35 to 45 minutes. And again, once that's done, I'm going to pair it with the basmati rice, and I'm going to have dinner. It's going to be wonderful, and I hope to see you there. I'm going to cut the video. I'll be back. Alright, so I came to check on the rabbit, and I decided to take the lid off because I want the sauce to thicken up as much as possible, as quickly as possible. And then it just dawned on me that as long as I have the lid on the pot, it's not going to do that. So we have May in the back doing some of the cleaning. For whatever reason, she thinks that it's necessary, even though, you know, it's getting done. Anywho.
Clean the mess. I'm cleaning my mess.
We've also got the rice in the rice cooker. Wait, we don't have the rice. Wait.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. All right, so we've also got the rice in the rice cooker. We've got the rabbit in here. We've got the lid off right now because I wanted to make sure the sauce thickened up as much as possible, as quickly as possible. So I don't want to leave the lid on so it just, you know, sweats on itself and takes, you know, way too long. So again, we're still doing about 35 to 40 minutes and we'll be back. And welcome back. You folks have been nice and patient. There was a short time period to where there was nothing going on. Thanks to editing, you didn't have to sit through that. I did take a nap, woke up, place still smelled wonderful. I went outside, brushed off the car, took a quick walk. The snow is coming down right now. Again, I'm in Buffalo, New York. I don't know if any of you are in this area right now, but we're at the beginning of a winter storm. And that's, you know, probably going to be about 12 to 20 inches. So they say what that means for this side of town is about 2 feet of snow at the end of the day. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take this here bowl. I'm going to grab some rice because we did have rice made in the rice maker earlier. The basmati rice specifically. And I'm going to put some of that rice in the bowl as a bed for the main course, which is our curried rabbit. Now again, I did mention this earlier, but if you're using wooden spoons in your kitchen, you're not going to want to use that for a curry recipe unless you don't mind the, you know, permanent staining, semi-permanent staining at least, depending on how often you rinse off and everything. Make sure I have a nice piece of rabbit in there, a little bit of the sauce and the vegetables that go along with it. And let that cover the rice. Now I'm pretty sure this is going to taste just as good as it smells because, of course, like any other cook in the kitchen, I'm going to taste test as I'm going along just to make sure the flavors are there. So I was satisfied with the way that the potatoes and the carrots were coming out. I hadn't tried the rabbit yet, but that is tender, so almost falling off the bone. And if you want to get a quick look at what a curried rabbit piece is going to look like, that's a piece of the leg right there, and yeah, it's falling right off the bone. That is delicious, folks. That is delicious. All right, so just judging on what was left on the bone after the meat fell off when I picked it up, this was a success. Now again, the ingredient list, I'm going to include that below in the description section just in case I wasn't too descriptive or, you know, thorough in explaining exactly what I use for the recipe, because as most of you already know, I usually don't do measurements and everything, but this time I'm going to make sure that you have a good idea of what exactly went into this pot. Again, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, anything like that, anything that you'd like to see me curry in the future, please feel free to leave that in the comments below. I'm always open to suggestions. Leave a like for the video if you did like the video. Also, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. Let a friend know too so they can subscribe to the channel. If you have friends who are, you know, looking for new recipes, struggling with cooking, or just looking to learn some stuff about quail and game birds in general, send them on over. Again, hit that notification bell so you're notified in real time anytime new content is released on the channel. That would also be greatly appreciated. So let's see. I'm gonna get a fork. Now with most of, well, at least my curries, you're gonna have to work your way around the bone if you didn't, you know, debone the meat first or anything like that, which I don't seem to mind ever. It's never been a problem. Oh my God, this is wonderful. I really wish y'all could taste this. And again, with rabbit, there will be tiny shards of bone in there, especially if you know, took a meat cleaver to it. I have a piece of bone just that big right there, but you'll feel around inside of your mouth if you're eating, you know, you'll actually be alerted to any danger before it's an actual danger. So again, I say that this is a success. This is one of the bones that were cleaved. And as you can see, it wasn't a clean break, but that little bit of marrow inside the bone added a little bit of flavor to the recipe. It's one of the reasons I love having a meat cleaver, so I can just break up everything. And I'd like to thank you guys once again for coming to check me out today here at New York Eternix. If you have any questions, comments, as I mentioned before, please leave those in the comment section below. Also, leave a like for the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Also hit that notification bell so you're notified in real time anytime new content, new recipes, new educational series videos are uploaded on the channel. You will be notified in real time, so you can stop what you're doing, pull over, you know, put your kids down, whatever, check out your phone, open up the computer. And when I say open up the computer, that's a laptop motion. Don't go flipping the monitor on your desk over, you know, for the sake of watching one of my videos. But yes, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, all that wonderful stuff. I really appreciate all the support. Also, want to make mention of the fact that there is another channel, Pink Hat Network. Right now it's known under Pink Hat Video. I'm going to include the link to Pink Hat Video down below in the description section. I'll also leave a link right there. You can check it out right there by clicking on that link. That'll take you directly to the channel. Please show some love over there. If you're already subscribed over here, go over there, subscribe to the channel, leave a like for one or two of the videos that I have over there right now. It's a beginning project, but as you know, I like to move fast, so that channel will be growing exponentially over the next couple of months. I'm gonna go ahead, take this off of the heat. Our rabbit's gonna go into the refrigerator in a little while after it gets down to at or around room temperature, you know, all that proper serve safe stuff. So again, thank you for coming to check us out. I hope to see you soon. And this is what it's going to look like in the bowl. You'll have all of your ingredients, of course. I got the potatoes, I've got the carrots, of course. Our rabbit's in there. And the meat is, again, fall apart delicious. Paired this up with the basmati rice. And believe you me, this is one of the most wonderful things that has come out of this kitchen since I started cooking in it. Now, again, this isn't going to be the last thing that I do. If you have any other meats that you'd like to see me curry, let me know in the comment section and we'll get that done for you more than likely.